Alim, can you just talk about Josh and what you feel like he brought to your unit and what he'll mean going forward?
Yeah, Josh brought a lot of physicality. He played very physical. For it to be his first game, you wouldn't really know it, honestly. And I want to say he played like 56 snaps, so he was in shape to do it. But Josh brings a lot of physicality, good rushes off the edge. But he just brings a lot of energy, a lot of juice. So yeah, I'm excited to see how Josh pans out because for that to be his first game, he really wasn't. That was crazy for him to play 60 snaps like that good. So.
We're a game or two into sort of some of the changes that Dan and AG have made to the defense. Just your initial impressions of what that's meant for you guys. Seems like
it's meant a lot. Coming from our coaches, they see a lot of hope in it. We see a lot of hope in it as well going forward. But we're just going to continue to work on the new changes, new techniques, and things that we're playing, and continue to better ourselves every day. But yeah, we definitely see a lot of hope in it, for sure.
As a defensive lineman, when you watch the film and you see a cornerback come up like Jeff did and make stick after stick and tackle after tackle, what do you big guys up front and linebackers do think of a guy like that?
Yeah, that gets us excited actually to see Jeff come down like that. I think I want to say he had 15, 16 tackles. But Jeff was coming downhill. He was just, being the elite corner that Jeff is. But it gets us excited for sure because, the way they were scheming things up, they were putting our corner in the fit. So, he came down and he did what he had to do for sure. And he was laying the wood for sure. So it's exciting to see Jeff come down and do that.
Quarterbacks aren't supposed to do that. What makes him different that he's willing and he's able to,
Yeah, exactly. That's right there is what makes him different. He's willing and able to come downhill and fill those gaps. So
I'm sure the mood is what it is today, just given the result of the game. But defensively, it really did seem like the start of a turnaround for you guys. So what is the mood like, the optimism like for what you guys are kind of doing with the adjustments and the AG's putting together for you guys?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, we see a lot of hope in it. Obviously we didn't come out with the W, so we're not going. We're not in there celebrating. Well, we did this and this and this. I mean, we did some good things, but ultimately we want to come out with the W. But we see a lot of hope going forward with AG and Coach Campbell has put in plan for us as a defense. So yeah, a lot of hope in it for sure. A lot of passion with it. So
super young group, 4 rookies starting yesterday, and then a couple of you second-year guys in there, kind of in the mix as well. Just what's the chemistry, the cohesion like with I guess just the youth in general with that group?
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna end up having a great chemistry. It's still like in the progress. We're still working towards it. Being able to communicate on the field and different things we want to do if we get a different look. But I feel like the chemistry is definitely building there. With a lot of young guys, second-year players playing. So I think the chemistry will be great. But we're still progressing towards that.
Do you think at all about the record, or you just think about the day and the next game and just keep plowing along that way?
Just the next game, the next day. Take it day by day. We definitely are, looking forward to getting on to this next week. But we don't pay attention to the record. No, we don't.
But it is your second year in the league, only 4 wins, 1 tie, lots of losses. I'm just wondering for you personally, how do you not let doubt creep in that this is going to be something that's going to be lingering, losses piling up week after week? How do you maintain that hope personally?
I would just say the love for the game, honestly. Each week is a new opportunity. So, we lose this week, next week we have an opportunity to win that game. So I'd say for me personally, that's just how I go about it. I'm just like, all right, so we took out this game, because it's part of the game. You win, you lose. But, I'm just looking on for this next week, looking forward to this next week coming up. So that's just how I go about it.
You've kind of been exploring changes to your role since back in training camp, getting you more out of that 0 and getting you more 3 work. Did anything else? Has anything else changed in the last couple weeks with you individually that the AG is trying to explore more with you?
There's a couple technique changes that probably won't come into play until Wednesday. We were just talking about a couple of things, but I have been able to move around a little bit on the D line, just do what is asked of me. But there's a couple changes. There's a lot of things that probably tweak a little bit, but probably won't come into play until we start practicing Wednesday. So.
I'm curious, just as a player, how you feel about the new concussion policy or the changes to the concussion policy. On the one hand, obviously, everyone wants to stay healthy, right? They're looking out for your brain. So specifically when someone has instability in their movement, they get taken off the field. But Amon-Ra yesterday was clear the sideline of having a concussion, wasn't allowed back in, so
Yeah.
sort of the competitive nature of it too. I don't know, how do you feel about that?
You know, I never really sat down and like thought about it. It's actually a good question, but I mean, with the way kind of things kind of unfolded like a couple weeks ago, you know, they're kind of on edge about a lot of stuff, which is, you know, smart in a way. Because I mean, that's just, what can you do? You don't really know for sure if the player is good or not. You know, they're worried about your health ultimately, but it goes back and forth. It goes both ways sometimes. You know, like Amara being cleared. You know, he felt good. He could have went back out there, but you know, it's a safety thing as well. So I mean, you can really go both ways with it. But I never really sat down and thought about that though.
No, just, can I ask one other thing?
Sure.
Does it? I can take it. As a defensive player, what do you like playing in a game like Sunday when it's 10-6, when every possession means something, as opposed to 45-38?
Yeah, for sure. Those low-scoring games, that means we're playing good defense. But yeah, I love those games a lot. I do a lot. I think Sunday we were in some positions, and I was just on the field. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what we like. This is what we want to be. But yeah, as a defensive player, you would definitely like those 10-6 type of low-scoring games. That means we're doing our thing. So.
Do you really feel like you're helping dictate the game that way too in those type of situations?
What do you mean?
Well, you're more in control of, you know, a close game, a low-scoring game like that. That you're more in control of the outcome.
In a way, I mean, you feel a lot different, you know, when it's a low-scoring game versus a high-scoring, like a 30-35. You know, we're letting up a lot of points, but yeah, I guess you could say that. I can't really describe the feeling, honestly. It just kind of is what it is, but yeah, there's just a different feeling when it's like a 10-6 or in regards to like a higher scoring game.
When you've looked at the last 2 weeks, obviously you guys offensively got off to a hot start the first month of the season. And, you know, you struggled, haven't scored a touchdown the last 2. When you've looked at the totality of the last 2 games, is there any common theme, or what do you kind of point at as why you guys have struggled the last couple of weeks offensively?
Yeah, I think, you know, there's multiple different things that have happened for, you know, our offensive struggles, and I think it's a lot of little things here and there that we're missing on, and I think we just need to, as an offense, you know, get back to our basics, get back to, you know, things that we do well and really lock in and hone in theirs, and, you know, get back on track here next week.
You were the highest scoring offense, obviously, the first month of the season. How confident are you that you guys can still be that unit?
Yeah, I think definitely that, you know, we get back in there, lock in, focus up, and, you know, we've shown that, you know, we can go out there and do it against, you know, good defenses, and I think that just getting back to, you know, what we do is, you know, going to be what we need to do.
Feel like you're settling in the guard pretty well? How do you feel like that's gone for you?
Yeah, I think definitely learning curve, definitely things that, you know, I'm learning each week, and you know, these reps are always going to be invaluable, and I think, you know, as it continues to grow, I got to just do my best to, you know, not make the same mistake twice and continue to improve there.
You guys have been so good in the run game all season, but it seems like that hasn't carried over to short yardage situations for whatever reason. Is there a recurring theme on tape of some of those short yardage struggles?
Yeah, I think same thing is, you know, little things of guys just, you know, at times trying to do too much, and, you know, you see looks that happen earlier on, and you try and play into that, and you just got to play each down like it's its own separate play, and you know, 11 guys doing 11 assignments is how you get the job done and get, you know, positive results.
Obviously, this wasn't the ideal start to the season, but how do you guys keep the positivity, keep the drive to go on to the next game?
Yeah, I think it's more on the fact of you can't let, you know, a bad start, you know, take you down. If you just take it and, you know, you go into the tank, I mean, in my mind at least, you know, there's no reason to do that. It's, you know, yeah, you lose games, but, you know, you go back into the next week and you look at what you did bad, you look at what you did good, and you got to build on the things you did good on, and then take the things that you did bad and try and cut them out of your game. So I think, you know, you just got to go back to work on Wednesday and prepare for the next opponent.
How does, I guess, you know, the defense kind of coming through these last couple of weeks, a really strong performance yesterday, kind of, I don't want to say change your optimism of the team, but boost your optimism of the team a little bit, and sense that you can kind of look at the situation and say, both units have played well at times. Now we just need to do it together.
Yeah, 100%. I think you hit on it exactly right there. We had bright moments, in the first couple games, and then defense has really stepped up, and we obviously got to do a much better job on playing complementary football here in the past couple games, and I think putting an offensive performance and a defensive performance and a special teams performance together is obviously how you win games, and it's what we need to do.
How much will getting Swift back this week if he's able to go, change things for you?
One more time, sorry.
Yeah, how much will it mean to get Swift back this week if he's able to come back, such a dynamic player, just getting him back, will that give that offense a big boost?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think, Swift has a very specialized and very good skill set of, what he can do with the ball in his hand. I mean, he touches the ball and he gets a little crease. I mean, you don't know what he can do with it. So I think, if we get him back, it'll be, another boost to get another weapon back on offense. So.
Yes, I know this, but explain how much guard you've played in the past before here.
Yeah, none in high school, 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year in college, and then in the league it's been, practicing mainly center, and I'd get some guard reps here and there just to get the experience, but mainly center. And played a couple games previously before here, at some guard reps, but really just been right now is the bulk of my guard work, and just doing everything that I can, whatever the team needs me to do. So
what's the challenge? How different is it from center?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I mean, it's a lot of people outside will say, oh, you're sliding over one position. It's still lineman, still interior, but it's a lot of different aspects that come just with, distance between, D linemen, center is very tight in there. You got the guy right in front of you, a little bit more space as you, start to move out. Different fits on your blocks and stuff. So, I mean, yes, it's still an offensive line position, but it's definitely learning and definitely different positions. So.
What did it mean to you? What did it mean to you when they came to you and said, hey, we want to get you on the field? Would you mind moving over to guard? You played so well at center. We think you're our best option there. Just that conversation, what that meant to you.
Yeah, I think, I've always been about the team. Whatever they ask me to do, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability and go out there and give everything I got. So, when they came and said, we want you to go right guard, I'm like, all right, let's go. Whatever they need from me, and go from there.
You just touched a little bit on how it's different, but I'm curious, like when you slide over to guard, was there a skill that maybe you didn't have in your tool bag that you kind of realized you had to develop, or skill-wise, what's different there?
I mean, I'd say, the skill of playing guard, there's just, different things about it at center, just touch on myself. Center always snapping the ball right-handed, always have that left hand kind of off and be able to use. And then at guard, you've got both hands to use, but, at right guard, set and right, you've got to have that right hand, which I've, started to develop and stuff. And so one thing right there is one of my points of emphasis that I'm trying to, improve on. So it's stuff like that that's just different, and haven't really used a right hand too much, with it being always snapping the ball first at center. So.
With Panay, how have you seen his game develop over the last few months, obviously being one of the premier right tackles in the league?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw when he came in to the league as a rookie, I mean, he made rookie mistakes, but I mean, he was a hell of a ball player. I mean, he still is, and he's developed a lot this year, just, fine-tuning his technique and getting down to the real specifics of, how to be a great right tackle. And I think he's developed a lot, and, I'm getting to play next to him and learning with him on, our fits and our combinations and how to work together as a, right-sided pass blocking and run blocking. I've loved to see his development, and he's becoming a hell of a player.